we have to maintain that sense of curiosity and wonder and fun, because it is, as you said, it's unprecedented. And we are going to look back and say, wow, we did that. And, it's only in challenge that we grow. And this is definitely a challenging time for all of us. And yet I think it provides us with a lot of opportunities too.
Hello and welcome to the Sunshine Parenting Podcast, where each week we talk about ideas for raising kids who become thriving adults. I'm your host, Audrey Monkey. Here on the podcast, I share my experiences raising 5 kids who currently range in age from 16 to 26 and working with thousands more as a summer camp director over the past 3 decades. I'm the author of Happy Campers, and I frequently do workshops with parents, teachers, and summer camp professionals about social skills, connection, and happiness, topics I researched extensively for my master's in psychology. If you want tools for raising kind, optimistic, self-reliant kids who become thriving adults, you've come to the right place. Hey, Sunshine Parenting listeners, this is episode 148, first being released on Friday, July 17th, 2020. My one simple thing tip for this week is to jot down a list of all the little things that you enjoy in life. Like many of you, I've been living with my parents and my in-laws aging and not being able to do all the things that they used to do. Just like when we age, we can't do some of the things that we enjoy when we're younger. The coronavirus has also made it that we can't enjoy some of the things that we normally do during the summer. But there are a lot of things that we take for granted that we still can do. And similar to when I challenged you to make a list of the things that weren't canceled, I think it's also good to have a personal list of little things in life that we enjoy that we can still do even during a pandemic. For me, it's just something as simple as a hot cup of coffee while I read my book, a walk with my family in the evening, a long chat around the dinner table. These simple little things are some of the most enjoyable parts of life. So let's create our lists and be grateful for the little things that we can still enjoy. As many of you know, my background includes over 3 decades working at and owning a children's summer camp. Over those years, I have met some amazing camp professionals who do work that is truly transformational with the campers and staff they work with. Back in April, I started interviewing some of these camp professionals to get their encouragement, ideas, and advice for parents during COVID. This week on the podcast, I'm bringing you my chat with Ariella Rogge from Sanborn Western Camps. Ariella received a BA in English from Colorado College and is a certified secondary English educator and wilderness EMT. Ariella has been active in developing outcomes-based research for the American Camp Association and often presents at national and regional conferences. Ariella shares amazing ideas of ways we can encourage our kids to explore nature. We talk about that in our conversation, and we also talk about lessons she's learned at camp that we can bring home to create more connection with our families during COVID. So today I am really, really excited to have Ariella Rogge from Sanborn Western Camps. Welcome, Ariella.
Hello, Audrey. Hello, friends. It's so good to be here. This is really exciting.
Well, you have been someone that I've loved following all that you write and all your ideas. So it's so exciting that now you get to share your ideas with even more people.
Yay. I'm looking forward to it.
So Ariella, first just tell people where you are, where your camp is, where you live, all that good stuff.
Sure. So Sanborn Western Camps is in Florissant, Colorado, which is about an hour west of Colorado Springs. We're up here in the ponderosa pine forest and aspen trees. We're on about 6,000 acres, so it's a beautiful space. very easy for physical distancing up here, but Colorado's being pretty impacted by the COVID-19 situation. And so everyone is really taking strong precautions right now. We are sheltering in place up at camp, and we're doing some distance work from up here in the hills, and just taking advantage of hanging out with my two sons, Lairden and Karsten, and my husband, Matt.
So it's the four of you. That was going to be my next question. Who are you sheltering with?
Yep, it's the four of us, and one cat named Kitty Boy, who is currently shut out of the house because he talks so much and would be very disruptive in this experience.
Oh no!
He'd probably be right here the whole time.
I hope it's not too cold outside. What's the weather like right now in Colorado?
We're actually having a little bit of a warming trend. We're in theory supposed to be getting up to close to 50 today. We had about a foot and a little over a foot of snow last Thursday. So right now the weather is muddy. Very muddy here. Right.
Okay. And how old are your boys now?
Lairden is 15 and Karsten is 11.
So are they in, what grades are they in?
Lairden is a freshman in high school and Karsten is currently in 5th grade.
Okay. So you have a couple different kinds of learning going on at your house. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, you have always been someone who's been very active in the camp profession, sharing a lot of different ideas and insights. How long have you been doing camp?
So I've been doing camp a very long time, since I was a tiny person, but I've actually been in the camp profession since 2001. I came out to Sanborn as the program director and associate director initially, and then transitioned into a co-director role at our girls' camp in 2013. So almost 20 years at this point.
And that's still your role now? You're the co-director of the girls' camp. Okay. And you live on site with your family year round?
We do. We also have our camp house, and we have a schoolhouse down in Green Mountain Falls, which is just a little bit closer to Colorado Springs. Our boys are part of the Manitou Springs school district down there.
So are you at camp now because of the sheltering in place then, or?
Both and it's our spring break. And so we thought it would be a nice space to be able to, kind of get out of the neighborhood, since, we were starting to get a little tired of the same walks over and over and over again.
Sounds good. Okay. Well, I want you to start sharing some of your ideas. One that I really loved, I saw last week, and I think you just keep them coming. You shared a nature bingo so talk a little bit about that activity and how you came up with that.
Sure. So a lot of the activities that we're posting on the Sanborn Western Camps blog actually are coming from a book that my colleagues Jane Sanborn and Elizabeth Rundle wrote a number of years ago, called 101 Nature Activities. And so that the nature bingo that we put up there is one that my friend Elizabeth, my co-director Elizabeth, actually drew herself and utilized items that you can find in this area. But it's really good because it's a printable, you can take it outside. And then the other fun thing about it is you can have your kids design their own nature bingo cards. So based on where you live, maybe you're more in a beach environment, or, California has a lot of ferns. And so you can add different things into the bingo card that are more reflective of the spaces that you are in. But it is fun to get them out there, and they can take their pens and pencils and cross things off as they find them. Playing blackout obviously takes a little bit longer, which is sometimes nice.
We've got some more time these days. So
yeah, we do have more time. Yes, for sure.
I've seen a lot of different bingo things come up, like bingo activities, like different things that you can have your kids do at home, and bingo nature. So it's a really fun concept. And I love how you provide the blank ones as well. So I'll be sure to put links to that. What are some of the other ideas that you're sharing with your Sanborn families and the rest of us?
Yeah, so we've been pushing a lot of those, what we were calling nature nuggets. So yesterday, NOAA put out kind of directions on how to do a 100-inch hike. And so basically that's just taking 100 inches of string or yarn or extension cord, whatever it is you have, and taking it out somewhere into your backyard or some nature space, and then just getting down on their hands and knees and really looking and taking time to examine every inch along that 100 inches. You could take toothpicks and make little flags when you find things that are interesting. And then you can, if you're doing it with appropriate physical distancing, you can swap and go check out what your friend was looking at too, which is fun, but it makes you slow down and really change perspective. It's fun to talk to kids, especially little kids, about, imagine that they're an ant or some sort of creature on the ground, a little chipmunk or a mouse, and what would they be seeing if they were crawling along that same hike that you're doing too. So that's been a fun one. Another one that we're excited about is nature sculptures. Andy Goldsworthy has done a bunch of different, he's the one who takes leaves and does beautiful spiral patterns and things, but nature sculptures can be just about anything. So again, getting your kids outside, gathering different nature objects, and then putting them in a way that, maybe it's a more permanent sculpture, like a rock cairn, or maybe it's more temporary. Maybe it's just with leaves and pine needles and something that eventually with some wind might blow away. So being able to get out there and just literally play with those natural materials is super fun too. We have a paint chip hike that's going to be great. You have those extra paint chips. You painted your house in the last few years. You might have a variety of colors. Have the kids go outside and see if they can find something that is the exact same color. So just take those paint chips out. That's a super fun, really easy activity to do. And then one of my favorite all-time activities is just a question strategy. And it's called, I think, I notice, and it reminds me of. Or you can even say, I wonder. I wonder, I notice, it reminds me of. So you find something outside and say, I think this might be a pine cone. I notice a lot, about this pine cone. It has all these different pointy things. And it reminds me of tiny little teeth. And so just having the kids kind of dig into specific things they find in the out of doors and you have them dive in at a deeper level, gives them, really great observation skills, but it also makes them think differently about the world around them. They'll see more.
Those are all, oh my gosh, I had never heard of that paint chip thing, but that is so true. We all have those things sitting around. That's
right.
Such a great, and you could even do some kind of challenge. I could see people could even do that in their houses, like people who can't go outside. I was thinking that's another one of those fun games. You could challenge your kids, like, those whole books of paint chips.
Yeah.
Find something. If you need to keep them busy for like an hour.
You can't use the wall I already painted. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. So now, do your boys go along with you when you want to do these activities, or are you more, is it harder to get them motivated right now?
Well, Karsten is still in that kind of 11-year-old space, and he is very much, he and I are excited. We're going to do some nature sculptures either today or tomorrow. I think probably today with the weather the way it is. But I would say Lairden is slightly more hesitant at this point. However, there have been some other pieces of camp that I've started to realize we can bring to this situation. And I think one of the biggest parts of what we do so well at camp is, maintaining and building connections. And even though, we're in this, at camp, we're very much tech free. This new world of tech really is providing us some different opportunities to kind of utilize technology in a way that maybe is more meaningful. We actually sat down the other night, and this is one of Lairden's favorite things that he's done this week. We had the laptop on the table. We'd set a date with my parents who live in Wichita, Kansas, and my sister who lives down in Mission Viejo in California. And so we'd set a time, 6:00. Everyone was going to have dinner ready, and we all sat down with our computers on our tables, and we had dinner together. And so to have that family dinner experience was really, really nice. And it did allow for that community, because I think at this point for Lairden as a freshman, those social connections are really important to him and something that we want to cultivate. And, we have staff members here who are doing meetups with, other staff, new, old, returning. They're doing dinners, they're doing appetizers, sometimes happy hours. They're doing things together in the Uber conference environment, in the Zoom environment. and it is giving people that social connection that we really, really, really do need as humans.
Oh, I love that family dinner. It's funny because my daughter, who's in Washington, D.C., happened to FaceTime us when we were sitting down for dinner, like last week at some point. And we just propped up the phone and same thing. She just joined us and we did our highs and lows and she went along and we kind of it was just, so it is interesting. I've heard from several people who have reconnected with old friends during this time. I think, when you are kind of at home and slowing down a little bit, I ended up talking to a friend of mine who lives in Spain on Sunday.
Awesome.
She had sent an email and, normally I would email back and try to set up a time to talk. And I just picked up my phone. I was still in my robe and I just called her and she answered. It was like afternoon. And I've heard so many people mention that, just reaching back out. I mean, what a great thing to just take this opportunity to do that, like family dinner with your parents. You probably didn't do that normally.
No, no. And it's one of those things where my dad was like, oh, let's do it again next Sunday. And my husband was like, or sooner, because why wouldn't we do it more regularly?
Yeah.
The other thing about, this whole idea of bringing, camp home is, why not write letters? I mean, that's the main form of communication. And how fun will it be, to be getting like real letters? I was actually thinking, if the holiday cards hadn't gone so well this year, then maybe we should send out the coronavirus cards, like a little well wishes during times of challenge. So, but I also think just having your kids write letters is a really, really beneficial thing to do. I just wrote my grandmother really long. I typed it because my handwriting is abysmal, but wrote her a really long letter, had some pictures printed, just to tell her what we've been up to in the last couple of months. So it's recalibrating how we are connecting with people in interesting ways.
And I think hopefully soon we'll be looking back on this as it's a very historic event that we're all living through right now. And so some kind of recordings, like actual recordings, letters. I talked to Allison yesterday and she has her 7-year-old keeping a little journal.
Yeah.
I just think that, we'll want to remember this time because it's a unique time. So I agree, writing real letters or keeping a journal are such good ways to just sort of stay remembering this time and also staying connected. I love your ideas so much, Ariella. Awesome. Any other tidbits for families out there of either connection ideas or bringing camp home tips that you want to share?
Well, I think, I was kind of, when you throwing this out, we've been bouncing this idea around of finding your summer self as like kind of our new little hashtag find your summer self. And I think for me, that summer self is about, fun and laughter and being outside and engaging with other people and, eating good food and having, really long, full days packed with all sorts of adventures. And I think what we're getting right now, we talk a lot about, the space and time and people of camp. And, and we do, like you said, we have more time now. And so now it's just a matter of like, how do we capitalize on the spaces we do have? And as an aside, thank heavens this did not happen in November. The fact that people can get out and, do things in the outdoors and go on walks and wave to their neighbors, I think is fantastic. Because I think it would be a lot harder for parents and families if, everyone was really, really, really stuck inside all the time. And I know that there are the shelter in place and, stay at home mandates that are out there. And hopefully people have at least a little outdoor space, maybe a balcony, maybe a backyard, maybe a courtyard that you can kind of tag in and out of to get outside and to be in the sunshine. I think that's a big part. How are the beaches right now? Can people access the beach still?
I saw someone post. I actually don't live. I'm about 3 hours from the coast. I'm in.
That's right. I know, yeah.
But I saw someone post. Actually, Stuart Jones. He's from a camp. He posted a picture of himself on the beach, and he was the only one there. So apparently, they're open and probably a place to spread out. I don't really know what the rules are. I live kind of in the foothills, kind of similar to probably where you are now, where there's no one around here anyway. So there's no one to even wave to. Like when we go outside, there's no no chance of running into anyone out here. So we're pretty far out here, but I do agree with you that this is a time I think that we can all use to sort of reconnect with what's important and
Right.
regroup, kind of like a refresh of our lives because we have to.
Mhm.
We don't really have any other options.
Right.
It's so funny when you said your hashtag find your summer self. So our camp's theme for this summer, we have a theme, is be you.
Yeah.
Which is like about authenticity and sort of that same idea. So, great minds think alike, Ariella, because I'm on
Of course.
thing is just like remembering to, oh, sorry, that's my dog because the delivery person still comes. We leave the boxes out front.
You can wave to him.
Yes, we can. So you have already shared so many things. I'm probably going to have you come back on, but where can people find, like, I know you're sharing ideas all the time. Where can people find all the things that you're sharing?
Yeah. So we've been posting all of our nature nuggets and then some different, we're going to be putting up some, mental health ideas and some different strategies just for self-care, as well as some funny stuff, because I think that's a huge part of this experience is everybody has to have a sense of humor. And, I think some of the song spoofs, I don't know, have you heard that I Corona?
No.
I Corona.
Oh my gosh, like my Sharona. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. No, I have not.
Or maybe it was my Corona. I don't know. But anyway, there's some stuff out there that's kind of funny. But I think, we'll be posting funny stuff. So go to the Sanborn Western Camps website, so sanbornwesterncamps.com, and then click on the blog and you'll find all sorts of different resources and articles and things that, hopefully with a lot of downloadables. We just posted a nature scavenger hunt today, which I think scavenger hunts are maybe the most unsung, easiest game ever, right? Because you can do so much, and you can have the kids write their own scavenger hunts. You can do inside scavenger hunts. You can do outdoor scavenger hunts. You can do up in the air scavenger hunts. It's really it's really the sky's the limit on the scavenger hunt model. But so we have one that you can download, and and I just think just hop on the blog, and we're going to continue to put stuff up, from now till the summer. Interestingly enough, we've just been talking about camps and value and the fact that, the camp community, this is normally when we are deep into our preparation for summer, and we're all still doing those things, but yet we also feel this deep, deep, deep desire to provide value for campers and families and our staff, and to be those connection points for people and to be a resource. And I think more than ever, if you look at camps all across the country, Camp Granite Lake's doing this funny daily show, and it's amazing. People are putting out, Camp Brave Trails did this whole like day in the life camp structure, like a day. It's like a day at camp at home, and it's really fun to see all of the creativity that's coming out of the camp model. And I think that's a big part of this for all of us is we have to maintain that sense of curiosity and wonder and fun, because it is, as you said, it's unprecedented. And we are going to look back and say, wow, we did that. And, it's only in challenge that we grow. And this is definitely a challenging time for all of us. And yet I think it provides us with a lot of opportunities too.
Oh my gosh, so well said, Ariella. And I think this also gives camp professionals like you an opportunity to just show what we do at camp that is so much more than the summer, this community that we build and these ideas that we share. Schools are all doing a great job scrambling to try to figure out how to still teach despite these circumstances, but we can't expect them to also do all this social emotional stuff that is what we're all about. So I love that I was able to have you on today because I feel inspired. And after just talking to you and just connecting with you, it's already made my day better. So thank you.
Oh, thanks, Audrey. I feel the same about you very much.
So we'll have to reconnect. I love all your ideas, and you're going to share with me stuff so I can also link to it, and I'll link to the blog, but also as you keep sharing stuff, I'll keep sending it out to my community opportunity because I just love all your ideas. And I think now I have another book I need to get, The 101 Nature Activities.
I bet I can get you a copy.
Really? Okay, cool. That's amazing. Okay, well, have a great day. Stay safe and healthy there. And we'll connect again soon. Okay.
Thanks for having me on, Audrey.
Okay, bye.
Good luck, everyone.
Care.
Bye.
My favorite this week is the book Deep Work: Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World by Cal Newport. I get very easily distracted by all the different projects and incoming news and information. And so something that I'm really working on and is going to be probably a lifelong process is learning how to spend more time in deep creative work. In Deep Work, Newport gives very compelling evidence that even if we can just have a block of a few hours of focused work time each day, that can be tremendously impactful and have a positive impact on our career and on our lives. He even talks about being more thoughtful about planning our leisure time so that we get the most out of that time as well. I'll put a link in the show notes to my full review of Deep Work, and I encourage you to check out one of the many podcast interviews that he's been on. I'm including links to those as well. As always, you can find notes, links, and other resources related to today's conversation by visiting my website at sunshine-parenting.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for my email list so that you don't miss out on any of the great resources I have available for raising thriving kids. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd really appreciate you sharing it with a friend. Please take a moment to give Sunshine Parenting a rating or review on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. Let's end with a quote from my book, Happy Campers. Creating a close and connected family culture that promotes positive, lifelong relationships is the most important thing we can do for our children. Warm and supportive parent-child relationships, a sense of being loved, and help and support from family members serve as protective factors and increase children's resilience and their ability to face many of life's inevitable challenges. I'm Audrey Monkey. Thank you for joining me for the Sunshine Parenting Podcast. Join me again next week for more conversations about raising kids who become thriving adults.